gmna uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action.
Good evening, I'm Rosalind Carney. Tragedy struck again Sunday with a woman rescued from Lake Michigan later pronounced dead, and a beach warning as 6-foot waves batter our shores. Cooler air is finally moving in, and the Ford City Mall redevelopment just got the green light. Miles, what do you make of that?
The Hyde Park Farmers Market opens this Saturday morning, running through October, with fresh produce, baked goods, and handmade crafts at the corner of 53 Street and Lake Shore Drive.
Visitors can browse local vendors, enjoy live acoustic performances, and sample seasonal foods while strolling the green space beside the University of Chicago campus on Saturday and Sunday mornings.
The market operates from 8 a.m. until 1 p.m., providing free parking on nearby streets and easy access to public transit via the Red Line's Hyde Park bound stop.
Lots to get to. Let's begin our news hour, starting with the stories that matter to Chicagoans today as we transition. Here are our top stories. Chicago Police and Fire Department Marine Unit rescued a woman from Lake Michigan near 47th Street and South DuSable Lake Shore Drive Sunday at 10:15 a.m. She later died at a hospital. Roman Zabel has the full story.
At roughly 10:15 a.m. Sunday, August 26, Chicago Police and the Fire Department's Marine Unit pulled a woman from the waters of Lake Michigan near 47th Street and South DuSable Lake Shore Drive. Witnesses said she was struggling near the shoreline before officers launched a small rescue boat. Paramedics rushed her onto shore, administered care, and transported her to a nearby hospital. Despite their efforts, doctors later confirmed she had died from the incident. The Marine Unit, which routinely handles water rescues along the lakefront, is reviewing the circumstances with investigators. No further details on the woman's identity have been released. Police officers remained on scene to coordinate traffic and gather statements from onlookers. Roman Zabel, GMNA News, Lakeview.
National Weather Service has issued a beach hazard statement for Chicago's Lake Michigan shoreline that remains in effect today. Officials warn that north winds are stirring the lake into choppy conditions, producing rip currents and waves ranging from 3 to 6 foot waves. Swimmers are urged to stay out of the water and to avoid piers, jetties, and breakwalls until conditions improve. The warning covers all city beaches, from Oak Street Beach on the north side to Montrose Beach on the south side. Despite a forecast of sunny skies across the city, the wind-driven turbulence continues to pose a serious risk to anyone entering the water. Authorities will monitor the situation and may extend the advisory if the wind remains strong. Residents are asked to heed the advisory and keep a safe distance from the lakefront today.
At about 3:40 a.m., Sunday, Chicago police and emergency crews were dispatched to the 13,100 block of South Langley Avenue in the Grand Boulevard neighborhood after a 25-year-old man was discovered with a gunshot wound to the head. First responders secured the scene and rushed the victim to the University of Chicago Medical Center, where he was later pronounced dead. The Chicago Police Department confirmed the fatal shooting but has not released any details regarding a suspect, motive, or ongoing investigation. The incident occurred in the early morning hours and authorities are continuing to gather evidence. No additional injuries were reported. The CPD homicide unit is now leading the investigation and detectives are reviewing surveillance footage from nearby businesses for leads. Police have not identified any suspects at this time.
Police discovered a 62-year-old man dead from a neck stabbing on the 5100 block of South Cottage Grove Avenue near the northeast corner of George Washington Park. No arrests reported. Grady Sokolowski has the full story.
Police found a 62-year-old man dead on the 5100 block of South Cottage Grove Avenue, near the northeast corner of George Washington Park, just after 11:10 p.m. on Monday. The victim had multiple stab wounds to the neck, and investigators say he was discovered by a passerby who called for help. Chicago officers have cordoned off the area and are canvassing the neighborhood for witnesses, but no arrests have been made and no suspect has been identified. Detectives are reviewing surveillance footage and asking anyone with information to come forward. The homicide comes amid a series of recent violent crimes reported in the Washington Park district. Grady Sokolowski, GMNA News, Washington Park.
A shooting on the 5400 block of West Fulton Street left one woman dead and two others wounded Saturday night. Police say the three victims, a 48-year-old woman, a 48-year-old man and a 43-year-old woman, were standing outside a residence when gunfire erupted at about 11:01 p.m. Emergency crews responded quickly, pronouncing the woman deceased at the scene while the man and the other woman were taken to a nearby hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Chicago Police Department detectives are now investigating the incident, canvassing the area for witnesses and reviewing surveillance footage. The incident adds to a series of late-night shootings the department has recorded this summer. CPD spokesperson noted detectives are reviewing nearby camera angles to identify the shooter. No arrests have been reported and authorities have not released a motive or identified a suspect at this time. Coming up, we'll explore the Shed Aquarium's new 30 beluga whales from Canada and why it matters. We will be right back. Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes, the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news.
Welcome back. One man was killed and another critically injured Sunday morning after a shooting in Chicago's southwest side. Police responded to reports of gunfire at about 5:45 a.m. in the 6100 block of South Campbell Avenue in the Chicago Lawn neighborhood. Officers found a 30-year-old male victim who died at the scene and a 27-year-old male who was transported in critical condition to Advocate Christ Medical Center. The shooting occurred in a residential section of the area. Chicago police are conducting a homicide investigation, have not made any arrests and have not released a suspect description. Detectives are canvassing the neighborhood and reviewing surveillance video. The investigation remains active and no suspect has been identified. The incident follows a recent series of gun-related shootings across the city's southwest side, highlighting the ongoing surge in violence.
Police say a 34-year-old man was shot inside an SUV in Inglewood Saturday night. The shooter fled on foot and remains at large. Grady Sokolowski has the full story.
Police say a 34-year-old man was shot inside an SUV on Saturday night in Inglewood. Witnesses heard gunfire as a suspect approached the vehicle on foot, opened fire, striking the victim in the shoulder and abdomen. The victim was rushed to a nearby hospital but was pronounced dead shortly after. The shooter fled on foot and remains at large, prompting a citywide search by Area 1 detectives and Chicago police. Detectives are canvassing the block, reviewing surveillance footage and urging anyone with information to contact authorities. The vehicle was parked at the corner of 71st and State, and officers have cordoned off the area while forensic teams collect evidence. Grady Sokolowski, GMNA News, Inglewood.
Shed Aquarium is currently caring for a group of 30 beluga whales rescued from a marine park that closed in Canada earlier this year. Aquarium staff have begun the delicate process of rehousing the whales in the facility's new state-of-the-art beluga habitat, designed to mimic the animals' natural Arctic environment. The transfer is part of a larger nationwide effort to relocate marine mammals displaced by the Canadian park shutdown, and officials say the operation will continue over the coming months as the whales adjust. Veterinarians are monitoring health indicators closely, while educators are preparing new outreach programs to share the story with visitors. The initiative underscores Shed's role in collaborative conservation, and the aquarium expects the whales to become a long-term fixture of its marine collection. Families can watch the acclimation process from a viewing deck, and the aquarium plans to host special talks on beluga behavior throughout the summer.
Gunfire across Chicago this weekend has left 17 injured and 4 dead, and police say the violence is still unfolding. The Chicago Police Department confirmed multiple shootings erupted in neighborhoods from the south side to the west side on Saturday and into today. Officers are canvassing the affected blocks, gathering evidence and seeking witnesses as the city grapples with a surge in street-level shootings. Hospital emergency rooms reported a steady stream of victims ranging from teenagers to adults, some with critical injuries. City officials urged residents to avoid non-essential travel in the hardest-hit areas and to report any suspicious activity. The department has deployed additional patrol units and is coordinating with the Illinois State Police to trace the firearms involved. The investigation remains active, and authorities have not ruled out a possible connection among the incidents.
A high-pressure system will dominate Chicago from August 23rd through 29th, delivering cooler air and clearer skies after days of severe storms and extreme heat. Relief is forecast throughout the week. Grady Sokolowski has the full story.
Cooler air is moving in as a high-pressure ridge settles over the region, pushing temperatures down a few degrees and clearing the sky for the week of August 23rd to 29th. Forecasts show highs in the mid-70s, a noticeable drop from the recent sweltering highs that have hovered near 90. The system also dampens the lingering threat of severe thunderstorms, giving residents a break after a summer peppered with damaging gusts and heat advisories. With clearer skies, the lake breeze should pick up, offering some relief for outdoor activities and reducing the strain on the power grid. The change is expected to hold through the weekend, giving Chicago a brief pause before the next weather pattern shifts. Grady Sokolowski, GMNA News, Lakeview.
Let's get a quick look at tonight's forecast and how the cooler air will feel.
A powerful northwest jet streams the upper air, locking in clear skies while surface pressure stays stubbornly steady. On this date, Chicago's all-time heat mark sits at 88 degrees, set in 2021 during a lingering midsummer ridge that pushed temperatures well above normal. The cold record is 53 degrees, recorded in 2018 when an Arctic blast slipped far south under a weak surface high. Normal highs hover around 73 degrees and lows near 56, so today's 75-degree high feels modestly warm, while the 57-degree low is a touch above the seasonal average. The live radar shows a blank canvas across the lake shore and inland counties. No echoes appear, confirming a dry, stable air mass that the northwest jet is keeping aloft. With the jet moving at roughly 103 miles per hour, any disturbance would be sheared apart before reaching the city. Expect the clear pattern to hold through the evening, and the sky will stay free of precipitation as we turn to tonight's outlook. At 6 p.m., Chicago sits at 75 degrees with mainly clear skies and humidity at 43%. The wind is 8 miles per hour from the northwest, gusting up to 17, feeling brisk across the lakefront. Near average pressure is holding steady, so the surface pattern is not shifting, while a powerful northwest jet at 103 miles per hour rides high, capping any rising motion and keeping clouds at bay. The UV index reads 7, and the forecast calls for a maximum wind of 14 miles per hour from the west later this evening, still comfortable. No weather alerts are active. As the night deepens, temperatures will slip toward 57 before sunrise, and we now glance at the 5-day outlook. Looking ahead, Monday repeats today's pattern with a high of 75 and a low of 57 under clear skies, a quiet start to the workweek. Tuesday nudges the mercury to 79 while clouds dominate, delivering an overcast backdrop that will limit sunshine. Wednesday climbs to the warmest reading of the stretch at 82 degrees, then eases back to 68 at night, and clear skies return for a classic summer evening. Thursday brings a slight dip, high 77 and low 68, but the air stays dry and sunlit. Friday rebounds to 81 degrees high and a low of 68, promising another clear night. The jet stream remains anchored to the northwest, so no major system is expected to disrupt this sequence. And that's your weather. Remember, the local sunset is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts.
Stay tuned for traffic updates, a look at today's events, and a preview of our Cubs vs. Mariners showdown. We will be right back. Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news.
Lakeshore Drive runs clear from the Gold Coast down to the South Loop, with travel times near the usual 15 minutes. The Kennedy Expressway from the Loop to O'Hare shows no slowdowns, and Interstate 94 remains at free flow speed through the near west side. The Dan Ryan southbound is moving at normal pace, and Interstate 55 southbound past the 95th Street exit reports no backups. Interstate 290 heading west from the Loop to the West Loop is also free of congestion. Downtown streets, including State Street and Michigan Avenue, are flowing smoothly after the midday surge. With no reported incidents, commuters can expect a typical afternoon rhythm, light traffic on the lakefront and steady flow on the expressways. Look out for scheduled construction on the southbound portion of the Stevenson Expressway later this evening. But for now, the network is running as intended.
Chicago's sky will roar this weekend as the Air and Water Show claims Lake Michigan, a must-see clash of jets, parachutes, and daring pilots that pulls crowds from across the region. The spectacle runs Saturday and Sunday, reminding us why the lakefront feels like the city's backyard. Grant Park's free dance series is in full swing, offering salsa, samba, and Chicago step classes that let anyone move to the summer rhythm without spending a dime. Local instructors keep the energy high, turning the park into a spontaneous block party for all ages. The Second Sound and Gravity Festival runs Thursday through Sunday across venues from the Athenaeum Center to the Hungry Brain, curating experimental sounds for listeners who crave more than mainstream playlists. Each spot offers its own lineup, so you can hop between intimate clubs and larger halls all weekend. And now here's Theo with sports.
Cubs face the Mariners as Chicago's summer baseball drama reaches a fever pitch. The Chicago Cubs open their Sunday series at 3:10 Central against the Seattle Mariners, with a live broadcast kicking off promptly. Viewers can watch a pitching matchup that may shape the Cubs, push toward the postseason as the team seeks to halt recent setbacks. Chicago's three-game skid, the first such run since the early June sweep in St. Louis, snaps a stretch where the Cubs posted a 42-26 record and a .618 winning percentage. The slump forces the rotation to tighten up as the club eyes a late-season surge. Fans flock to the Cubs-Mariners game threads, where the live broadcast at 3:10 Central and the pre-game preview spark nonstop chatter. The online buzz highlights key matchups and keeps the community energized, turning every at-bat into a shared conversation across the city. The Cubs' bullpen has surrendered 21 blown saves in just 50 chances, an alarming rate that threatens any late-inning lead. With the relievers struggling to close out games, the front office must decide whether to shuffle roles or seek fresh arms before the stretch run intensifies. After a 24-appearance scoreless streak, Jacob Webb surrendered a 2-run walk-off homer to Randy Arozarena, handing Seattle a 5-4 victory. The sudden collapse underscores the volatility of the Cubs. Rotation and forces manager to reassess bullpen usage as the team chases consistency. Matthew Boyd entered Seattle's series with a respectable home run rate, yet in his last 4 August starts, he yielded 8 long balls, including 2 3-run and 3 2-run shots. His strategy of targeting Cal Raleigh with a high heater backfired, prompting questions about his approach moving forward. Stay tuned as Chicago's clubs chase momentum into the final stretch.
Thanks, Theo. Ford City Mall in West Lawn is at a turning point. The Chicago Plan Commission just gave the green light for Curve Industrial's proposal to replace the aging retail hub with a modern logistics center. The plan calls for tearing down the vacant storefronts and building a sprawling industrial complex that will bring dozens of jobs and new freight routes to the neighborhood. While a handful of residents voiced concerns about traffic, many see the project as a chance to revive an area that's long struggled with vacancy. It matters because a thriving supply chain hub can anchor West Lawn's future, keeping Chicago's economy moving from the inside out. City Council will now weigh the final vote, and if approved, construction could begin by next spring. Up next, we investigate the tragic Indiana antique store shooting and see how World Central Kitchen is feeding families in Gary. Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news.
Welcome back. A gunman opened fire inside a Lowell, Indiana antique store Saturday night, killing one patron and wounding another before taking his own life. Police are investigating the incident. Roman Zabel has the full story.
Inside a small antique shop on the outskirts of Lowell Saturday night, a lone gunman opened fire, sending shoppers scrambling for cover. Police say 2 people were hit. A 30-something man fell dead on the floor while a woman nearby sustained a gunshot wound to her shoulder. Officers arrived moments later to find the shooter still inside, weapon in hand, and he turned the gun on himself, ending the 3-person incident. The store, a longtime fixture in the unincorporated area, was left with shattered glass and overturned display cases. Detectives are now combing through surveillance footage and interviewing witnesses to piece together the motive. No additional casualties were reported. Roman Zabel, GMNA News, Lowell.
World Central Kitchen, in partnership with NIPSCO, delivered free meals to Gary residents displaced by recent storm-induced power outages, supporting recovery efforts across northwest Indiana. Roman Zabel has the full story.
Power lines knocked down by a late summer storm left thousands in northwest Indiana without electricity, and volunteers have been moving in to fill the gap. World Central Kitchen set up a temporary kitchen on the north side of Gary, handing out hot, free meals to families waiting for power to be restored. NIPSCO crews are on the streets repairing lines, while the charity's staff and local volunteers serve sandwiches, soups, and fruit to anyone in need. Organizers say the distribution points operate around the clock, rotating shifts to reach neighborhoods still in darkness. The effort aims to keep residents fed as they wait for the grid to come back online. Roman Zabel, GMNA News, Gary.
Thank you, Chicago, for joining us on the local sunset. Tonight's highlight was the Shed Aquarium welcoming 30 beluga whales from Canada, a wonderful addition to our waters. We appreciate your trust and look forward to bringing you more stories tomorrow night. Stay safe and see you then.